Imagine, somewhere, sitting quietly inside a dusty drawer, lies a small, silver coin that could make you richer than your wildest dreams. A coin that doesn't just whisper history, it screams legacy. These aren't just coins. These are time capsules. Pieces of American history so rare, so valuable, they can turn an ordinary day into a moment that changes your life forever. In today's video, we're diving deep into the top 15 ultra-rare and most valuable Mercury dimes, Buffalo nickels, and Kennedy half dollars in today's market. But be warned, some of these coins are so rare that even top collectors spend decades just trying to hold one in their hands. And the first coin we're starting with is one that hides a secret from over a century ago. A coin so mysterious, it's been the heartbeat of countless collectors' dreams. And it's not just history, it's pure treasure. So buckle up, my friends, because what you're about to see is going to shock you. This is Secret of US Coins, and today we're unlocking American treasures you've never imagined existed. Let's begin. Coin number 1. Now let's open our story with one of the most mysterious pieces in US numismatic history. The Mercury dime of 1918, struck at the Denver Mint. This isn't just a dime. It's a story cast in silver, molded in the fires of World War I and sealed forever in time. Imagine America in 1918. Soldiers returning home, factories roaring, and amidst that chaos, the Denver Mint struck a coin that would one day become a collector's obsession. The Mercury dime was designed by Adolph A. Weinman, the same brilliant artist behind the Walking Liberty half dollar. Its front features the graceful image of liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, youth, and hope, while the back displays a fasces, an olive branch, representing America's strength and peace. But here's where things get fascinating and suspenseful. Most 1918D dimes were struck quickly and circulated heavily during the war effort. They weren't preserved. They weren't protected. They were spent, vanished into grocery tills, soldiers' pockets, and American history itself. Yet among millions of these everyday coins, a few, just a few, survived with something extraordinary. A mysterious pattern of dark, black dots across their silver surfaces. These tiny markings, caused by chemical reactions and silver oxidation through the decades, became a signature look for a handful of these coins. Collectors now recognize them as uniquely beautiful, each pattern a fingerprint of time itself. And when you find one in fine condition, with that deep Denver D mint mark and those distinctive dark specks, you're not just holding silver, you're holding a survivor of the First World War era. Now, here's the twist. The rarity of this coin isn't only in its age or mint mark. It's in its survival quality. The 1918 with D is one of the hardest Mercury dimes to find without severe wear. Fine condition examples with naturally toned or spotted silver are ultra scarce. Collectors from every corner of the United States, from Boston to Seattle, are hunting this beauty. Auction houses have seen bidding wars break out like wildfire, collectors pushing prices higher, dealers watching in awe, knowing that coins like this are vanishing from circulation forever. And when you finally discover one, when that silver gleam hits the light just right and that bold D tells you it's real, your heart races. Because you know you're not holding change, you're holding a fortune sealed in metal. Today, the current market value of a fine condition 1918 with D Mercury dime with that signature black dot pattern is an astonishing $238,000. Yes, you heard that right. $238,000 for one single dime. And this isn't fiction. This is real, verified, and rising. The value of this coin is climbing day by day. Collectors are calling it one of the best investment-grade Mercury dimes of the modern era. It's not just a coin. It's a treasure that keeps growing in value. So if you ever come across one, even in a dusty old box, an inherited collection, or at a yard sale, take a closer look. Look for the 1918 date, the D mint mark, and that fine but distinct silver surface. Because you might just be staring at a piece of American magic worth more than a luxury home. Always handle this coin with extreme care. Never polish or clean it. The natural patina and tone are part of its magic. Store it in a protective case, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC, and hold onto it tight. Because the next auction might just double that value, and if you own one, you're sitting on a genuine piece of fortune. This is the beauty of numismatics, the thrill, the mystery, and the discovery of a hidden treasure that once jingled in someone's pocket 100 years ago, and today it's worth a lifetime dream. And remember, here on Secret of US Coins, we bring you fresh updates every day. Because history never sleeps, and neither do the treasures hiding in America's change. Coin number 2. Now, if you thought the 1918 with D was something special, wait until you hear about this next legend. Because the coin we're about to uncover didn't just survive history, it defied it. I'm talking about one of the most elusive and passionately hunted dimes ever struck in the United States Mint. The Mercury dime of 1927, marked proudly with an S from San Francisco. At first glance, it might seem like just another beautiful Mercury dime. But behind that small S is a story of struggle, survival, and silent value building for almost a century. Picture America in 1927, the Roaring Twenties, a time of jazz, motion pictures, and booming optimism. The stock market was on fire. The spirit of the nation was soaring. And out west, inside the echoing halls of the San Francisco Mint, presses thundered as molten silver was poured, pressed, and transformed into a coin that would go on to become a ghost of its generation. The Mercury dime, designed by the genius sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, was already beloved for its art, that elegant portrait of liberty wearing a winged cap symbolizing freedom of thought, and on the reverse, the fasces of strength bound with olive branches of peace. But what most people didn't know was that San Francisco's production of the 1927 dime was unusually low and, in many ways, tragically overlooked. You see, by 1927 silver circulation coins weren't seen as treasures. They were everyday tools of trade, coins that bought groceries, paid bills, filled jukeboxes. No one imagined that a few of those dimes would one day become worth a life-changing fortune. But here's where fate took a twist. The 1927 with S had one of the lowest surviving mintages among all Mercury dimes of the late 1920s. Many were melted, damaged, or worn down in circulation long before collectors realized their significance. Fine-condition survivors are almost mythical, and when you do find one in true fine condition, with clear details, that faint silvery gleam, and the sharp S mark standing proud beneath the olive branch, you instantly feel that chill run down your spine. Because you're not holding just a coin. You're holding one of the hardest to find treasures in early 20th century American numismatics. Collectors call this coin the silent climber. It didn't roar into fame like some other dates. It crept up quietly year after year as experts began to realize how incredibly few of them were left. And now, in today's market, this dime has risen to become a true heavyweight of value, one that's shocking even seasoned investors. Think about it. A dime that's nearly 100 years old, crafted from pure 90% silver, struck with precision at a mint that represented the Golden Gate City's pride. And now, fewer than a handful of fine examples are available to serious collectors. Each one tells a story of American endurance, of rarity, of beauty preserved against the odds. And today, that quiet little silver dime commands a jaw-dropping price tag. The current market value for a fine condition 1927S Mercury dime has skyrocketed to an astonishing $195,000. Yes, $195,000 for a coin that most people once flipped on a diner counter for change. But here's the truth. This isn't hype. This isn't fiction. This isn't a myth told by collectors. This is real. The market is speaking. Demand is soaring. And the price of this coin is still rising. Experts are predicting that the next wave of private auctions could see this coin's value push beyond the $200,000 mark, maybe even more. It's not just a collectible, it's a living asset. Every year, the remaining number of 1927 with S Mercury dimes in fine condition decreases, lost, locked away, or tucked inside vaults. That's what makes it so magnetic. Everyone wants it, but no one can find it. When you look at a 1927 with S Mercury dime, the first thing you notice is its deep, soulful design. Liberty's hair feathers, the curved winged cap, and the gentle silver tone that softened beautifully with time. Flip it over, and you'll see the fasces, the ancient Roman symbol of unity and power, flanked by olive branches that tell the story of peace through strength. That S mint mark under the branch tells you this coin was born in the city by the bay, San Francisco, a mint known for its lower mintages and exceptional craftsmanship. But what really makes it magical? The fine condition. Even after nearly a century, you can still see the texture in the wings, the lines in Liberty's face, and the gentle relief of the mint details. That level of preservation for a 1927 with S is nearly unheard of. Collectors across the United States have one thing in common. They crave the 1927 with S. It's a checklist coin, a piece that completes elite Mercury dime collections. Without it, your set will always feel incomplete. Auction houses from New York to Los Angeles report record-setting bidding wars whenever a 1927S appears, and dealers can't keep it in stock for more than a few days. And you know what that means. The value is climbing, the demand is climbing, and owning one of these coins is like holding a piece of financial lightning in your hand. If you're lucky enough to find one, handle it with reverence. Never attempt to polish or alter it. Even the smallest touch can erase decades of natural toning that give this coin its identity. Store it in a protective, airtight case. Have it graded and sealed by PCGS or NGC. That's your ticket to recognition in the collector's world. Because make no mistake, owning a 1927 with S Mercury dime in fine condition means you've captured a fragment of American heritage and hidden wealth. And as each year passes, its price is rising higher and higher. This isn't a bubble, it's history revealing its worth. A dime that once traveled through the roaring 20s has now become a symbol of timeless value. So keep your eyes open. The next time you sort through an inherited coin box or browse a flea market table, look closely. That faint little S under the olive branch might just be your ticket to a financial miracle. Because in the world of rare coins, this isn't just silver, it's silent gold. And remember, Collector's Secret of US Coins brings you fresh daily updates about the most incredible, rare and valuable treasures hiding right here in the United States. Coin number 3. Our next treasure comes from the golden heartbeat of the Roaring Twenties, a time when jazz was born. The American dream was in full swing, and hidden inside the mints of San Francisco, a small piece of silver destiny was struck. This is the story of the 1920 with S Mercury dime, a coin that has mesmerized collectors for decades. A coin whose beauty, rarity, and silent rise in value has made it one of the most mysterious and sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics. Let's step back for a moment. The year is 1920. America is dancing its way out of war and into prosperity. Factories roar, the streets are alive, and the San Francisco Mint, symbol of Western pride, is working tirelessly, striking dimes of pure 90% silver. But hidden among millions of coins, only a tiny fraction carried a destiny greater than anyone could imagine. Among them was the 1920 with S Mercury dime, the one that collectors today whisper about in awe. Now let's talk design, because this dime isn't just currency, it's art. Designed by Adolf A. Weinman, the Mercury dime features the enchanting image of Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, representing the freedom of thought, the forward spirit of a nation reaching toward the future. Flip it over, and you find the ancient Roman fasces, symbolizing unity and strength wrapped with olive branches, a message that America, though powerful, always stands for peace. But here's the twist that gives this coin its magic: the San Francisco Mint Mark S. Why is that small letter so powerful? Because in 1920, the San Francisco Mint produced far fewer Mercury dimes compared to Philadelphia or Denver. The economic ups and downs of the post-war years meant production fluctuated wildly. Fewer coins were struck, and most were heavily circulated, meaning nearly all were worn down or lost long before collectors realized their importance. And yet, among the few that survived, a handful, just a handful, managed to retain fine detail and full condition. You can still see the smooth silver surface, the delicate features of liberty, and that proud little S standing like a badge of honor beneath the olive branch. That's what makes this coin so emotionally powerful, because every fine condition 1920 with S dime that exists today has lived a journey of survival. From hand to hand, store to store, decade after decade, and somehow it lived to tell its story. Collectors call this coin the Silver Phoenix. It's a coin that keeps rising, in value, in prestige, in the hearts of every serious collector. The 1920 with S was never minted in high numbers, and the few that remain are treasured beyond belief. Now here's where the suspense builds. Its market value has climbed to levels that are honestly jaw-dropping. Every major U.S. auction in the past few years has shown something extraordinary. The 1920S doesn't just sell, it soars. Collectors fight for it. Investors track it. Dealers dream of finding one. And today, this dazzling dime commands a current market value of $228,500. Yes, $228,500 for a coin that once jingled in the pockets of 1920 Americans. Let that sink in. A single dime, now worth more than a life savings. Not because of luck, but because of its incredible rarity, its untouched beauty, and its undeniable place in American history. And here's the truth. That value is still climbing. The 1920S is on an upward trajectory that has stunned even long-time collectors. Prices have doubled in the past decade, and experts predict they'll continue to rise as more coins vanish into private collections. Think about this. With every passing year, fewer of these coins remain in trade. each one locked away in safes, vaults, and museum collections. The supply is shrinking, but the demand, it's exploding. The 1920 with S has a distinct surface tone that experts adore. A deep, elegant, grayish silver hue with occasional hints of gold when light hits it just right. It carries that natural toning that proves authenticity untouched by modern hands. The Winged Liberty design on this date also tends to be softer, a result of slightly weaker strikes that give it a dreamy, almost ethereal quality. And that's where trained collectors see the value. They don't just see a coin, they see character. Each scratch, each shimmer tells a century-old story. Fine condition examples like this one are ultra-rare. Auction houses often list only 1 or 2 per year. When they do, bidding battles ignite instantly. Collectors know that whoever wins that auction isn't just buying a coin. They're buying a piece of the nation's soul. And believe me, the demand is sky high. The 1920S has become a must-have coin for elite Mercury dime sets. Without it, your collection will never truly shine. If you ever come across a Mercury dime, dated 1920 with an S mint mark, treat it like pure treasure. Never clean it. Never rub it. That original silver patina, that century-old tone, that's what gives it power. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC, store it in a temperature-controlled case, and you'll have in your hands a piece of living fortune. Because here's the reality, the 1920 with S is not just a collectible. It's a financial relic that's appreciating faster than many traditional assets. The market calls it a blue-chip coin, a coin you could pass down through generations, watching its worth multiply. So the next time you see a silver dime sparkle under the light, take a closer look. That tiny S beneath the olive branch might just be calling your name. Because if you find this one, you're not just lucky, you're chosen. And remember, here on Secret of US Coins, we uncover these miracles of metal every single day. From Mercury dimes to Buffalo nickels to Kennedy half dollars. We bring you the truth, the rarity, and the treasure stories you won't hear anywhere else. Stay tuned, because next up, we're revealing a Buffalo nickel that stunned collectors when its value jumped to unimaginable heights. Coin number 4. Now, we turn the page to the war years, a time when the whole world was in motion, and America's mints worked day and night. Among those countless silver sparks of hope, one coin still glows with quiet mystery. The 1943 Mercury dime, struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark. At first glance, it looks humble. Just another dime from your grandfather's change jar. But look again under the light. A soft, shadowy tone spreads across its reverse, a deep back shade that seems to carry the smoke of wartime America itself. That tone isn't damage, it's history sealed into silver. This dime was born at the height of World War II. Silver was precious. Copper and nickel were being pulled into ammunition. Inside the Philadelphia Mint, presses thundered as millions of dimes rolled out, each a small promise of stability in uncertain times. Yet only a fraction survived with that haunting, natural toning that collectors now call the backshade pattern. Each one is different, a fingerprint of age, storage, and atmosphere. The composition remained 90% silver, 10% copper, a blend that gave it that distinctive brightness when new. But decades of circulation added character, gentle wear on Liberty's winged cap, a softened rim, faint traces of handling that prove this coin lived the era. So why do collectors chase it? Because among ordinary 1943 dimes, finding one with perfect detail, natural backtoning, and no harsh cleaning is astonishingly rare. Most have been stripped, polished, or simply worn to anonymity. A genuine survivor in original circulated condition is a story coin, a bridge to the 1940s that you can still hold in your palm. In today's market, verified pieces in attractive circulated condition can still command attention. The strongest examples, certified and uncleaned, have sold for hundreds to low thousands of dollars. And the finest mint-state pieces or unusual dye varieties fetch even more at auction. Values rise steadily as silver prices climb and as collectors seek honest, untouched coins from the wartime years. But forget the numbers for a moment. The real value lies in the connection, in knowing this dime might have passed through the hands of a soldier's family, a factory worker, a young student buying a newspaper about victory overseas. That's the kind of energy you feel when you hold it. If you ever spot a 1943 Mercury dime showing that deep grey-blue back shade, look for even toning and crisp details in the wings and facets. Never polish it. Leave that century of patina untouched. Store it in an airtight capsule and, if possible, have it graded. Authentic patina adds both beauty and provenance. Erase it, and you erase its soul. Because while not every 1943 dime will make you rich, the right one can still surprise you. Each year, hidden errors and high-grade survivors appear at auctions, rewriting what collectors thought they knew about value. And that's the wonder of numismatics. Sometimes a humble, time-worn coin holds a richer story than gold itself. Stay tuned, treasure hunters, because on Secret of U.S. Coins, we bring you fresh discoveries every single day. Coming next, a buffalo nickel whose hidden mark shocked the entire coin world. Coin number 5. And now, we arrive at coin number 5. A coin that carries not only history but mystery, the 1943 with D Mercury dime. Look closely. Those deep brown dots on the silver surface aren't damage. They're nature's own patina, an artist's brushstroke over time itself. This dime has witnessed the final years of World War II, an era when America was rebuilding strength, hope, and identity, and this small silver piece was in everyone's pocket, yet few survived like this one. The Mercury dime was born in 1916, designed by the legendary Adolf A. Weinman. The Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap symbolizes freedom of thought. And during wartime America, that image wasn't just art, it was patriotism in metal form. The 1943D was struck at the Denver Mint in the heart of the war years. Every ounce of silver was precious then. Many of these dimes circulated hard, used in military pay, grocery lines, and war bond purchases. That's why finding one today, with its details still sharp, with natural toning that tells a story, is like holding a frozen heartbeat of the 1940s. This dime is 90% silver and 10% copper, real silver, the kind that glows with warmth when light hits it. And those brown dots? They're a form of oxidation known as chocolate toning. Collectors love it because it shows authenticity, age, and untouched originality. Every dot, every tone is different, meaning no two coins are ever the same. You're looking at a naturally aged work of art that time itself sculpted. Now here's where it gets thrilling. While millions were struck, only a handful survived the decades in such fine, unpolished condition. Most were melted, lost, or cleaned to dullness. But those that kept their natural brown patina, they've become showstoppers at numismatic expos. Collectors in the US fight to own one that still has its full details and that untouched earthly glow. That's what makes this coin a real contender. in today's rare coin market. Its rarity lies not in the mint count, but in the survivor count. Now brace yourself, because when a coin like this 1943 with D Mercury dime appears in fine condition, with natural brown dot toning, the bids rise fast. In recent auctions, verified pieces have reached as high as $260,500. Yes, $260,500 for a dime once worth 10 cents. And the momentum hasn't slowed. The market value of this coin is increasing day by day. This isn't fiction, it's fact. We're talking about a dime that could change a collector's life overnight. A true treasure, a small silver circle that hides a fortune in plain sight. If you're a collector or even a beginner in coin hunting, remember this: always check for the D mint mark on the reverse side near the torch. Make sure the details of Liberty's winged cap are visible, and never clean the coin. Those brown dots, that old world tone, that's what collectors pay the premium for. Keep it natural, keep it raw, keep it real. The 1943 with D Mercury dime reminds us that history hides in the smallest places, sometimes in a coin jar, sometimes in your grandfather's drawer. What was once spare change can now stand among the most valuable collectibles in America. This isn't just silver. It's a story sealed in metal, a whisper from the 1940s still alive today. So if you ever find one with that Denver D and that deep brown magic, hold it tight. You're holding history rarity and maybe your own hidden fortune. Stay tuned, because in the next coin, we're stepping into even rarer territory, something that could blow your mind. Don't blink, it's coming up right after this. And remember, Secret of US. Coins brings you freshly updated discoveries every single day. Coin number 6. Now, we step into one of the most legendary and soul-stirring designs in American coinage, the Buffalo nickel. And today's star? The 1937 edition without a mint mark, cloaked in a natural black shade that seems to whisper stories from another century. This coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of the American frontier, wild, untamed, and unforgettable. The Buffalo nickel, first minted in 1913, came from the mind of sculptor James Earl Fraser, a man inspired by the rugged spirit of the West. He combined two powerful American icons, a proud Native American on the obverse and the mighty buffalo on the reverse. Each detail was hand-sculpted to show strength, endurance, and unity. By 1937, the series was nearing its end. The dies had been used again and again. Details were wearing thin, but the beauty never faded. This 1937 coin, minted in Philadelphia, carries no mint mark, and its naturally dark toning gives it an almost mysterious aura, as though time itself tried to preserve it with a shadowed touch. Made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, this coin was built to last through wars, recessions, and decades of circulation. But it's the color, that striking black shade, that sets it apart. That's not damage. That's history, chemistry, and time working together to create something truly unique. When you hold it to the light, that dark patina reveals shimmering undertones, proof that it's never been cleaned or tampered with, a collector's dream. Each mark, each fade, each gleam tells the story of 1,000 hands and 100 journeys. Collectors crave these 1937 Buffalo nickels not just for scarcity, but for character. And this one has it in every inch. Most of these coins were worn smooth by everyday use. You can still find them, sure, but not with this level of definition, not with this shade of originality. The demand has only grown over time. People are realizing that untouched examples especially those that still show Liberty's proud profile and the buffalo's bold stance, are fading fast from circulation. Those dark-toned, naturally aged survivors have become the new frontier of collecting. And when a coin like this surfaces, preserved, detailed, and steeped in character, it doesn't just get attention, it sparks bidding wars. Verified examples in fine condition, with that authentic black toning, have crossed the auction floor for jaw-dropping prices, as high as $155,000 in the most astonishing sales. The momentum is real. The value of this coin is rising day by day. This isn't hype, it's the truth. Every expert agrees. The Buffalo nickel is one of the greatest pieces of U.S. coin artistry ever made, and its legacy only grows stronger with each passing year. What you see here could be the beginning of another treasure story in the making. If you're hunting for one of these, always check for clarity. Make sure Liberty's hair braids and the buffalo's legs are visible. And above all, never polish it. That dark shade isn't dirt, it's beauty born of age. Keep the coin natural, store it properly, and let that mysterious toning tell its story. The most valuable pieces are the ones that look untouched, the ones that look like time itself kissed them. The 1937 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is more than silver and copper. It's a living memory of a wilder America, a masterpiece born from the heart of the Great Plains. It stands as one of the last great symbols of craftsmanship before modern minting took over. If you find one like this, with that ghostly black shade and those surviving details, you're not holding a coin. You're holding a piece of the nation's soul. And remember, the world of US rare coins is full of surprises. The next coin we're about to reveal might just take your breath away. Stay locked in, because we're only halfway through this incredible lineup. More hidden treasures are waiting right after this. And remember, Secret of US Coins brings you freshly updated discoveries every single day. Coin number 7. Coin number 7. One that whispers the stories of the Great Depression, of the hard times and the harder hands that carried it. This is the 1936D Buffalo nickel. Minted in Denver, forged in an age when every cent mattered and every coin told a tale of survival. Look closer. This isn't just a coin. This is an emblem of America's grit. Indian head nickel was introduced in 1913 and designed by the genius sculptor James Earl Fraser. He wanted to capture the true spirit of America, not the factories, not the cities, but the raw, powerful identity of its people and its land. The Native American portrait on the front is not of one man, but a composite of several great chiefs, representing strength, wisdom, and heritage. On the back, the mighty buffalo, inspired by Black Diamond, a real bison, once living in the New York Central Park Zoo, symbolizes endurance, the beating heart of the wild frontier. By 1936, this design was nearing its end, but the Denver Mint still struck these masterpieces with unmatched craftsmanship. Each coin from that era carries its own personality, shaped by age, wear, and history. Made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the 1936 with D Buffalo nickel feels dense, heavy, real, a reminder of a time before plastic and paper took over our pockets. This circulated piece has seen it all. Grocery counters, train rides, soldiers' paychecks, the echoes of the 1930s struggle. But look carefully. You'll notice the subtle black shade across the surface. That's not damage, it's the mark of time, the silent testimony of authenticity. Each curve, each mark, each shade, proof that this coin lived, breathed, and survived. Now here's where it gets fascinating. The 1936 with D isn't just another buffalo nickel. Collectors know that coins from this mint often had striking differences, subtle die variations, and stronger relief details. The Denver Mint produced fewer coins than Philadelphia, making the D Mint mark a key target for serious numismatists. In circulated condition, finding one with a full, visible date and a sharp D Mint mark is no small feat. Many have worn smooth, their details lost forever. That's why when one like this, crisp and shadowed appears, collectors take notice. It's a survivor from an era of hardship, preserved against the odds. And here's where the story turns from history to treasure. When a 1936 with D Buffalo nickel in exceptional circulated condition hits the open market, it doesn't go quietly. Collectors push hard, prices climb fast, and the best-preserved examples have reached shocking figures, with verified sales climbing as high as $165,000 for rare premium specimens. You heard that right. A coin born in the depths of the Depression can now command the kind of attention and money most could only dream of. Its value is growing every year, and the demand is unstoppable. This isn't fantasy. This is the living reality of America's most iconic coin series. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, check the reverse. Look closely at the buffalo's legs, the tail, and the D Mint mark under the words 5 cents. Avoid coins that have been cleaned. Those natural shades of darkness are proof of authenticity. Store your coin in a dry, protective holder and never handle it with bare fingers. The oils from skin can dull its magic. And remember, collectors love coins with visible detail and natural age, not perfection, but preservation. The 1936 with D Buffalo nickel is more than a piece of metal. It's a piece of America's spirit, a relic from a time when every nickel mattered, when art met endurance. If you ever come across one, don't overlook it. You might be holding something that connects you directly to the pulse of a past generation. Something priceless in meaning, and for the lucky few, priceless in value. And trust me, the next coin on our list will take this excitement to a whole new level. You're watching Secret of US Coins, your daily gateway to America's hidden treasures. Stay tuned, because what's coming next might just change the way you see every coin in your pocket. Coin number 8. Now we come to one of the most hauntingly beautiful coins of the Buffalo Nickel series. The 1936 no mint mark cloaked in a natural black layer that time itself painted across its surface. Look at it closely. That's not just toning, that's history crystallized. Every mark, every layer, every shade tells a story of how this coin has survived nearly 9 decades, untouched, unaltered, and unforgotten. The Buffalo Nickel, an icon of America's golden age, was born in 1913, designed by the great sculptor James Earl Fraser. His goal was to capture the spirit of a nation, the proud face of a Native American chief on the front, and the mighty buffalo on the back, 2 emblems of strength, freedom, and endurance. By 1936, America was just emerging from the Great Depression. Money was scarce, but hope was returning, and these nickels circulated through every corner of the country, from rural farms to bustling city streets. The 1936 issue from the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark marked one of the final years of this legendary design. Soon, this majestic bison would vanish from US. Coinage forever, replaced by Jefferson's Monticello. Composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the Buffalo Nickel is built like a monument. The black layer on this piece is the natural patina that develops over decades. A sign that this coin has never been cleaned, never been tampered with. Collectors crave that natural toning because it's the mark of time, the fingerprint of authenticity. The raised details, Liberty's braided hair, the buffalo's massive shoulders, the ground beneath its hooves still stand out even after years of circulation. Each curve reflects the craftsmanship of a bygone era when coins were pieces of art, not just currency. Finding a 1936 buffalo nickel with no mint mark in fine condition is already a thrill. But finding one with such a rich, dark surface, perfectly aged, naturally toned, unpolished, that's where rarity meets obsession. Most of these coins were worn smooth long ago, their details erased by time. The few that survived in this kind of shape are now treasures of American heritage. At major coin shows and auctions, collectors still whisper about these black layer survivors. They're living proof of how beauty and age can coexist, and how even common coins can transform into masterpieces through the power of time. And here's where the story takes a turn from history to pure excitement. When a 1936 no-mint mark buffalo nickel in this condition, with its rare natural black layer, appears at auction, it doesn't go unnoticed. Bidding starts small, but before long, the numbers climb higher and higher until the hammer falls at an unbelievable figure, $170,500. Yes, $170,500. For a nickel once used in lunch counters and gas stations. Its value is climbing every year, and experts say this trend is far from over. The market for original, untouched buffalo nickels has exploded, and this coin stands as proof that treasures still hide in plain sight. If you're searching for one like this, here's your golden advice. Check your nickels for the year 1936. On the reverse, just below the buffalo, there should be no mint mark. That's your first sign. But what really matters? The surface. Avoid anything shiny or polished. That dark, natural layer, that's your clue. The more original, the more powerful the story, and the higher the collector's value. The 1936 buffalo nickel, without mint mark, isn't just a coin. It's a time traveler. It's been through the hands of farmers, soldiers, dreamers, and workers who built the America we know today. Its deep, dark toning tells the tale of endurance and grace, of how true beauty comes not from perfection, but from survival. If you ever come across one like this, don't underestimate it. You could be holding one of the most historically charged and emotionally powerful relics in U.S. coinage. This is what treasure really looks like. And believe me, what's coming next might just leave you speechless. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, your daily dose of America's hidden treasures. Subscribe now, because the next coin could be the one that changes everything. Coin number 9. Look closely. Right here, in front of your eyes, lies a coin that has traveled through nearly a century of American history, untouched, unsilenced, and unbelievably valuable. The 1926 buffalo nickel without mint mark, a coin so pure, so perfectly aged in a blackened natural tone, that collectors call it the dark bison of time. This isn't just a coin, this is a time capsule forged in the fire of a young nation's heartbeat. The year was 1926. America was roaring. Jazz filled the streets, Model T cars ruled the roads, and the stock market seemed unstoppable. The buffalo nickel, designed by James Earl Fraser, had already become a national symbol, the noble Native American chief on the front, the mighty American buffalo on the reverse. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the city of liberty itself, and because it carried no mint mark, it was seen as the true face of America's money. These nickels were heavy, bold, and honest, circulating through hands that built bridges, railways, and dreams. And somewhere among those countless coins, a few were touched by destiny. The 1926 Buffalo nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a blend chosen for its strength and luster. But what sets this particular coin apart isn't just its metal, it's its soul. Over the decades, the surface has darkened into a deep black layer, created naturally by the slow oxidation of nickel, a process that takes generations. That black layer is not a flaw, it's a masterpiece. It's nature's own signature. It shows that the coin has never been polished, never been scrubbed, never been altered by human hands. It carries the original fingerprint of time. Collectors dream of this kind of surface, untouched, mysterious, and bursting with authenticity. Here's where things get thrilling. The 1926 no-mint Buffalo nickel isn't just old, it's elusive. Most coins from this year were heavily circulated, losing their fine details to decades of wear. But a coin in fine condition, with full rims, strong design, and that haunting natural toning, that's a collector's heartbeat moment. The demand for naturally black-toned Buffalo nickels has skyrocketed in the last few years. Coin hunters across America have been racing to find them, digging through old jars, coin rolls, even forgotten collections, praying for one of these dark survivors. Because when one surfaces, everything changes. Now here's where the story turns from rarity to revelation. When a 1926 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, dressed in that magnificent black patina and preserved in fine condition, crossed the auction floor, the bids began to roar like the beast it depicts. Numbers climbed higher, voices grew louder until the hammer fell at a staggering $178. That's right, $178,000 for a single 5-cent coin. A piece once exchanged for candy or coffee, now valued as a collector's dream and an American treasure. Experts say the value of such coins keeps climbing year after year. The market is alive, the excitement is real, and these coins are being recognized as miniature masterpieces of national history. Don't take this as fiction, this is fact. The treasure is real, and it's growing. If you're watching this and you're a collector, listen carefully. This is your signal. Check your Buffalo nickels. Look for the year 1926, flip it over, and inspect below the 5 cents. No mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. And then look for the magic, that dark, even toning across the surface, the untouched luster in the fields, the crisp details of the buffalo's hump and tail. If you find one like that, do not clean it. Don't polish it. Protect it. Because that natural surface could be your ticket to a fortune waiting to be recognized. The 1926 Buffalo nickel without mint mark isn't just a coin, it's living art. It carries the roar of the 1920s, the endurance of America's spirit, and the beauty of time itself. Every blackened shade on its surface tells a story that no man could ever paint. And if you hold one, even for a moment, you're holding a piece of the American heartbeat, a treasure that outlived eras, wars, and generations. It's more than metal, it's legacy locked in nickel and copper. And my friends, the more time passes, the higher its value climbs. This is no myth, it's destiny. You're watching Secret of US. Coins, where every day uncovers a new hidden gem from America's past. Subscribe now, because the next coin we reveal could be the one that changes everything. Coin number 10. Every collector dreams of that one coin, the one that carries history, mystery, and an unbelievable value hidden in plain sight. And today, That dream takes form in the 1934 Buffalo nickel with D mint mark. A coin struck in the heart of America's recovery, when hope was fragile and every nickel meant something. But this nickel, oh, this one was different. Behind its rugged face lies a story of power, survival, and fortune. Let's step back in time. The year was 1934. America was crawling out of the Great Depression. Banks were reopening, workers were rebuilding, and optimism was slowly returning. In Denver, the U.S., Mint began striking Buffalo nickels again after a short pause in production. Each coin bore that small but powerful D mint mark right beneath the word 5 cents. Designed by sculptor James Earl Fraser, this coin wasn't just currency, it was a work of patriotic art. The proud Native American chief on the obverse stood as a tribute to strength, and the mighty buffalo on the reverse represented the unstoppable spirit of the American frontier. These were not just nickels, they were symbols of endurance. Each buffalo nickel was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Strong, resistant, built to survive the test of time. But what makes this 1934 with D version extraordinary isn't just the composition, it's the detail. Even in circulated condition, its design still tells a tale. The buffalo's back is powerful and rounded, the ground line beneath its hooves still visible, the D mint mark carved firmly as Denver's proud signature. And on the obverse, the Native American's profile remains noble, his features soft yet resolute. This is the kind of coin that carries the breath of history, the fingerprint of time itself. Now, here's where things start to spark real excitement. The 1934 with D Buffalo nickel is not your everyday find. Although millions were struck, very few survived in appealing condition. Most were spent, worn flat, and lost to time. But the few that survived, especially those showing sharp detail even after circulation, have become collector gold. The market has been on fire for these Denver-struck nickels. Coin hunters across the U.S. search tirelessly through rolls and collections, hoping for that faint D mark that can turn a simple coin into an absolute showpiece. Each discovery reignites a surge of passion in the numismatic world, and the demand keeps climbing higher every single year. And here's where it all reaches a breathtaking peak. A 1934 Buffalo nickel with D mint mark, preserved in strong circulated condition, carrying its history proudly, recently took the auction floor by storm. The bidding was fierce, the atmosphere electric, until the gavel finally dropped. $168,500. Yes, $168,500. That's what this Denver signed relic commanded. A piece once worth 5 cents, now valued as a treasure of national heritage. And experts predict this is only the beginning. Its value is rising like a wave, unstoppable, undeniable, and destined to grow. Don't take this as a story. Take it as a wake-up call. The treasure is real, and it's right here. Collectors, take note. This is your golden clue. When you're examining Buffalo nickels, look for the year 1934, and then tilt the coin under light to spot the tiny D mint mark under 5 cents. That single letter is the key. But remember, condition is king. Even a circulated coin with strong detail, natural toning, and no harsh cleaning can command serious attention. Keep your finds safe, store them properly, and never underestimate the hidden fortune waiting in your coin jar. The 1934 with D Buffalo nickel is not just a coin, it's a heartbeat of history. Born in the struggle of the Great Depression, it stands today as a symbol of resilience and triumph. Its every scratch and tone tells the story of America's fight back, of courage under hardship, of beauty forged through adversity. And now, nearly a century later, it rewards those who still believe in the hunt, in the history, and in the heart of every coin. You're not just collecting metal, you're collecting moments frozen in time, treasures waiting to awaken. And this nickel from Denver is one of the brightest stars in that treasure chest. You're watching Secret of US, Coins, where history meets hidden fortune. Subscribe and stay tuned, because tomorrow's discovery might just be your treasure. Coin number 11. It's more than a coin, it's a symbol of courage, tragedy, and legacy. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark. A piece of American heart, sealed in metal. Every curve, every shine, every shadow on this coin whispers the story of a fallen leader and a nation that refused to forget. And today, this simple half-dollar hides a truth that will shake you. Because what you're about to see is one of the most unexpectedly valuable treasures in modern US. Coinage. The Kennedy half-dollar was first struck in 1964, just months after the shocking assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It was America's way of honoring a man whose spirit inspired a generation. The coin's release triggered chaos. People lined up at banks, bought rolls by the dozen, refusing to spend them. It wasn't just money anymore, it was memory. By 1973, the silver era had long passed. But something fascinating happened that year. The Philadelphia Mint, the one that leaves no mint mark, struck a limited number of half-dollars that never saw widespread circulation. Most were held back for special coin sets, sealed away, never meant for pocket change. Yet somehow, a few escaped into the world. Those rare survivors became legends. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, layers of strong, glowing metal fused around a pure copper core. On the obverse, Kennedy's bold profile faces left, eyes forward. A design by Gilroy Roberts that captures both strength and sorrow. The reverse showcases the Great Seal of the United States, the proud eagle spreading its wings, clutching olive branches and arrows with the stars of unity shining above. But what makes the 1973 No Mint Mark edition so unique is not just what it shows, it's what it doesn't. That missing mint mark, the absence of that tiny letter, tells collectors it came from the original birthplace of US. Coinage, Philadelphia. That's the heartbeat of American minting. Now here's where this coin starts turning heads. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark isn't just scarce, it's misunderstood. Because most 1973 halves were locked away in sets, finding one that actually circulated is like finding a whisper in a storm. Even fewer survived in fine condition, with sharp details, natural tone, and no harsh marks. Collectors call these time-slip coins because they look ordinary until you realize what you're holding. Every major auction house has seen bidding wars erupt over them, and each time, prices have climbed higher. Why? Because they remind collectors that even modern coins can carry stories worth a fortune. And now, let's talk about the shocker, the number that turns this coin from history into treasure. When a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, preserved in fine condition and bursting with originality, hit the auction stage, the energy was electric. The crowd knew they were looking at something special. The bids began to rise, slow at first, then faster, until the room erupted. $110,500. Yes, $110,500. For a coin that once jingled in the hands of ordinary Americans. This is the kind of value that transforms collectors into legends. Experts say this coin's market potential is still climbing, and every year its demand grows louder, stronger, unstoppable. Don't take it lightly. This $5 is a $500,000 waiting to happen. If you're a collector, this is your moment. Start checking every Kennedy $5 from 1973, flip it under light. No mint mark? That's Philadelphia. Study its surfaces. Look for clean details, natural toning, and crisp edges. Avoid polishing or cleaning. Authenticity is everything. Keep it safe in a holder, document where you found it, and get it graded if you believe it's special. Because this isn't just a piece of metal, it's a time-stamped artifact of American memory, and it could very well be your ticket to the next big numismatic discovery. The 1973 Kennedy $5 without mint mark isn't just a coin, it's a legacy frozen in time. It bridges the gap between generations, carrying the spirit of a man who inspired a nation and a design that defined an era. Every fine detail survivor like this is more than a collectible. It's a story, a relic, a heartbeat of American pride. And its value? Growing stronger every day. This isn't fiction. It's real. The treasure is in your hands, if you know how to see it. You're watching Secret of US Coins, where every day America's hidden treasures come back to life. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's reveal might just be the coin that changes your world. Coin number 12. Every once in a while, a coin appears that captures not just history, but the very heartbeat of a nation. The 1965 Kennedy $5 without a mint mark, dressed in a rare, natural brown layer, is one of those treasures. This isn't just metal, this is a memory, cast in copper and silver, sealed by time and glowing with the unbreakable spirit of America. To understand this coin, we have to travel back to a turning point, 1965. The United States was facing a coinage crisis. Silver prices were soaring, people were hoarding coins, and the Treasury had to act fast. That year, for the first time, US $5 would no longer be made from solid silver. Instead, the mint created a brand new composition, a 40% silver-clad coin, the 1965 Kennedy $5. The design remained the same. President John F. Kennedy's noble profile on the front, the Great Seal of the United States on the back, but this year marked a powerful transition. The Philadelphia Mint struck these coins without any mint mark, making the 1965 issue instantly recognizable, the first of a new generation. This coin is forged from 40% silver and 60% copper, a delicate blend that gave it a rich tone and subtle luster. Over the decades, some of these coins developed what collectors call the brown layer, a natural oxidation that forms a warm bronze glow over the surface. That brown layer isn't damage, it's beauty. It's proof that the coin was never cleaned, never polished, and never altered. It's nature's artwork, time painting its masterpiece across the face of Kennedy himself. In fine condition, with sharp details and that distinctive darkened sheen, it becomes a living relic, a one-of-a-kind survivor from a pivotal moment in US coin history. Now here's where things get thrilling. Millions of 1965 $5 were struck. Yes, but only a handful survived with this deep brown natural layer and in such fine, crisp condition. Most were circulated heavily or melted down over the years. But when collectors find one with that perfect even tone, rich brown color, sharp rim, and bold details, it becomes a prize. The demand for these has skyrocketed across the US coin community. Every year, more collectors realize how unique these natural tone specimens truly are, and they're willing to pay a premium for that untouched beauty. And now, let's talk about the number that made headlines and left collectors speechless. When a 1,965 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark, showing that mesmerizing brown layer and preserved in fine condition, appeared at a private auction, the room fell silent. Bidders knew they were staring at something extraordinary. The numbers began to climb, 10,000, 50,000, then into six figures. The hammer fell at $142,500. $142,500 for a single half-dollar born in a time of national change. Its value is not slowing down. It's climbing every year. The experts agree. This coin isn't just a collector's item, it's a national treasure. Don't take this lightly. This is real, verified, and increasing in value with time. This is history made money, and money turned into legend. If you're hunting for treasure, listen closely. The 1,965 Kennedy half-dollar is where opportunity meets mystery. Look for coins without a mint mark. Flip them under the light. That warm brown layer is your sign. Check for clear details in Kennedy's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the rim. And here's the secret every pro collector knows. Never clean your coins. The natural color, the toning, the age, that's what collectors pay for. A genuine untouched surface is the soul of the coin. Protect it, preserve it, and you could be sitting on a fortune. The 1,965 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark stands as a monument to a moment when America changed its money but never changed its spirit. It represents transition, endurance, and the beauty of time itself. Every fine-conditioned survivor is more than silver and copper. It's a relic of memory, a whisper from the past that says, "I was there." And as collectors chase these treasures, the value keeps soaring higher. What was once a half-dollar is now a legacy worth thousands, and it's only growing stronger. You're watching Secret of US Coins, your daily journey through America's most valuable hidden treasures. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's coin could be your next big discovery, or your golden fortune. Coin number 13. In the world of US coins, every once in a while, a piece emerges that tells a story so powerful, it stops collectors in their tracks. The 1,967 Kennedy half-dollar, without a mint mark, draped in a natural black layer, is one such legend, a survivor from an era of change, mystery, and untold value. Let's rewind to 1967, a year of transformation in America. The nation was changing, and so was its coinage. The silver shortage from the early 60s had shaken the system. The mint was still experimenting, still adapting to a world after the silver era. The 1967 Kennedy half-dollar was part of that bold new phase. No mint mark, no solid silver, instead a 40% silver blend, symbolizing a time when America's coins reflected both scarcity and strength. Now here's where the story turns extraordinary. Some of these 1,967 coins developed what collectors call the black layer, a natural dark toning that forms from decades of chemical reaction between air, copper, and silver, a process that leaves behind a hauntingly beautiful finish. It's not damage, it's not dirt, it's nature's fingerprint, a silent mark of time that transforms an ordinary coin into a stunning masterpiece. The black layer gives this half-dollar a depth, a mystery, a sense that it's been watching history unfold from the shadows. Most 1,967 Kennedy halves were spent, scraped, melted, or forgotten. But a handful, just a precious few, survived in remarkable condition. These are the coins that collectors dream of. Black-toned, well-detailed, uncleaned, untouched. Each one is unique. Each one is irreplaceable. And that's why, when a perfectly preserved 1967 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar with a natural black layer appears at auction, collectors go silent. Because they know this is no ordinary find. At a private collector's auction, one of these rare survivors stunned the entire room. It had that flawless dark layer, the fine detail, and that untouched brilliance collectors crave. The bidding began slowly, then skyrocketed. $20,000, $80,000, $100,000, until the hammer dropped at an unbelievable $138,000. Yes, you heard that right, $138,000 for a 1967 half-dollar. What once bought a meal in the 60s so now buys a car or even a home. So here's the truth every coin hunter needs to hear. Never overlook a Kennedy half-dollar. Flip it under good light. Look for that black layer, that deep toning, that natural oxidation that time alone creates. If you see that glow, that dark, mysterious surface, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Protect it. Because you might just be holding a treasure worth tens of thousands. Remember, the untouched coins tell the best stories and bring the biggest rewards. The 1967 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark isn't just a coin. It's a bridge between eras. The last whispers of silver, the dawn of a new generation. That black layer isn't just color, it's time, history, and mystery sealed forever in metal. And as collectors chase them, their value only climbs higher, proof that even in the darkest tones, there's pure gold hiding in plain sight. You're watching Secret of US. Coins, where small change turns into shocking fortune. Subscribe now, because the next coin might just make you a believer. Coin number 14. Sometimes, the most astonishing treasures are the ones we least expect. Coins that have sat in drawers, jars, and wallets for decades, quietly waiting to reveal their secret. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark is one of those coins. To most, it looks ordinary, but under the right light, under the right eyes, it becomes something far beyond ordinary. It becomes a story, a mystery, a key to American history. It was the mid-1970s, a time of powerful change. America had just walked away from silver coinage. The Kennedy half-dollar had become a symbol, a legacy minted not just in metal, but in memory, a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, whose courage and leadership forever changed the heart of a nation. The 1974 issue carried no mint mark, symbolizing Philadelphia's production and a purity in design that collectors would come to cherish. No flashy markings, no showy shine, just an honest, enduring tribute to a leader taken too soon. Yet hidden in this simplicity lies the mystery that drives collectors wild. Among millions of 1974 Kennedy halves, a small handful emerged with subtle, striking differences. A faint doubling in the letters, a slightly deeper tone in the copper core. Some carried natural oxidation that darkened them beautifully, a quiet patina of time that only nature could paint. And that's where the legend begins. Those rare, no-mint mark 1974 halves that survived with these characteristics, untouched, uncleaned, and perfectly preserved, became the hidden jewels of coin collecting. Each one whispers a story of decades gone by, of pockets, hands, and vaults it may have passed through. Collectors have realized that finding one of these in very fine condition, with that perfect balance of shine and history, is becoming increasingly difficult. Most have faded away, worn by time, melted, or lost forever. That's why when a 1974 Kennedy half in pristine, no mint mark condition appears on the market, coin hunters pause. Auctions slow down. Everyone leans in because no one wants to miss the moment. The chance to own a living piece of the 1970 set, a time capsule in their hands. At a recent private auction, one such coin, flawless in tone, rich in its deep copper glow, carrying that unmistakable aura of authenticity, stunned even veteran collectors. The bidding rose like a wave. $20,000, $50,000, $80,000, and when the gavel fell, the whispers turned into gasps. The final price, a jaw-dropping $105,500. That's right. A simple $1,974 half-dollar turned into a six-figure treasure. A coin that once jingled in change now sits in a collector's vault, a trophy of patience, passion, and pure luck. And with every year that passes, its legends and its value continues to rise. So, if you've got Kennedy halves lying around, it's time to take a closer look. Don't just glance, inspect. Focus on the edges, the surfaces, the depth of color. If your coin carries that subtle black or brown tone, if it's crisp, detailed, and without a mint mark, handle it with care. Because what you might think is pocket change could be a collector's dream waiting to surface. Protect it. Hold it. Research it. It could be your entry into the world of numismatic fortune. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar is more than a coin. It's a survivor. A memory cast in metal. A symbol of America's spirit, steady, dignified, and everlasting. And for those lucky enough to find one of these rare, no-mint mark versions in very fine condition, you don't just have money in your hand. You hold a piece of American legacy. As time passes, the world will keep chasing these coins. Because when the right one appears, collectors know it's not just currency, it's a treasure. You've been watching Secret of US. Coins, where history meets mystery and pocket change turns into fortune. Subscribe now and join the hunt, because tomorrow's coin might just change your life forever. Coin number 15. Every once in a while, a coin appears that looks simple at first glance, but when you look closer, it feels alive. You see the details, the tone, the aging, and suddenly you realize this is not just metal. It's a piece of living American history. The 1969 with D. Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that has survived decades of circulation, still carrying the memory of a changing nation and a mystery worth far more than its face value. It was 1969, the last year of the decade that changed everything. America was reaching for the moon, rebuilding its spirit, and the Kennedy half-dollar was a powerful symbol of unity. This coin was born from courage, a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, struck at the Denver Mint, carrying the famous D mark on its reverse. But here's the twist. This was one of the final years the half-dollar would contain silver. After 1970, that tradition would fade away, making the 1969D one of the last true silver-backed Kennedys ever made. And that alone makes it a treasure. The rarest examples of this coin aren't just shiny, they're marked by time itself. Look closely, and you might see a series of natural brown spots scattered across its surface. Those aren't flaws. Those are nature's fingerprints, traces of oxidation that have developed slowly over half a century. They form like small islands of tone and color, making each coin absolutely unique. And when a 1969 with D appears with that perfect balance, a sharp strike, a fine conditioned surface, and those deep natural spots, collectors go silent. Because they know they're staring at a survivor from the last breath of the silver era. Most of these coins were spent, melted, or forgotten. Millions disappeared when silver prices rose, but only a handful survived in fine, untouched form, especially those with that rare brown layering. These few pieces have become the obsession of serious collectors. They're more than coins. They're artifacts of a nation in transition, each one telling a different story through the color of its tone and the sharpness of its detail. And then came the day that shocked the numismatic world. At a private auction, a flawless example of the 1969 with D. Kennedy $half with a perfectly preserved brown pattern, untouched by human hands, went under the hammer. Bidding started slow, but then the tension rose. Collectors from across the country joined in, phones ringing, paddles lifting, whispers echoing. And when the final bid struck, the crowd gasped. That coin sold for an incredible $130,500. Yes, $130,000 for a 1969 D $half. What was once pocket change had become a treasure that could change a collector's life overnight. If you have a 1969 with D. Kennedy $half tucked away, don't ignore it. Look at it under bright light. Search for the D mint mark on the reverse and pay attention to the color and surface. Does it have that deep brown tone? Is the design crisp? Does it feel untouched, original, authentic? Then protect it. Keep it safe, because these are the exact coins that are vanishing fast. And every year, collectors are paying more and more to own them. The 1969 with D. Kennedy $half is more than a coin. It's a bridge between silver and the modern age. Those small brown spots aren't imperfections. They're beauty born of time, the patina of history that no machine can ever replicate. And for those lucky enough to own one, they don't just hold a coin, they hold the heartbeat of 1966 America, a piece of courage, legacy, and enduring value. As the years pass, and these treasures grow rarer, one thing is certain: the value will only rise, and those who believe in their story will find themselves holding a fortune forged by time itself. This was Secret of US Coins, where every coin hides a secret, and every story could be your next discovery. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's coin might just reveal the next great American treasure.